Thanks to Ugreen for sponsoring this video. The iPhone 15 Pro has some secrets, about 15 or so big hidden features and abilities here that you need to know about with this all-new iPhone. Yeah, it's got a slightly new design, it's got a new port, it's got a new button on the side, but what's really exciting about this phone is kind of the stuff you can't see. So let me break down some of the best secrets and hidden features that you need to know about with the all-new iPhone 15 Pro, because honestly, wasn't super excited about this phone, but the more I use it, the more impressed I am. Maybe Apple's actually onto something here. When I got my hands on the 15 Pro, the first thing I wanted to do was do a little comparison to the 14 Pro series I'd been using for the last year to see if Apple's really hyped up marketing actually, well, lived up to the hype. Apple spent a lot of time in the presentation talking about
titanium design,
and the thinner bezels or borders around the display. And after some time with the phone, I'll tell you this. My 14 Pro Max does kind of feel a little bit like a brick. Like, the stainless steel is nice, it's a beautiful phone, but it is kind of chunky and heavy. And the 15 Pro, it does feel significantly lighter. That titanium is nice, and you should notice a difference here on both the 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max. Though after a while, I'm not sure if it's gonna be a huge difference. Same goes for the thinner bezels as well. Yes, side by side, there's a difference between the new phone and the old phone, but honestly, for the last couple of months, the last year I've had this phone, the bezels haven't really bothered me at all. Besides that, the design really didn't change all that much. Both the 14 Pro and 15 Pro look very similar, but one big difference that I'm sure you're curious about is the camera. How much better are photos and videos on the new iPhone compared to the old iPhone? And instead of me talking about it, why don't I just show you and let you judge for yourself? So here are some photos from phone A and phone B in a couple of different scenarios. We've got different subjects, different lighting conditions. You tell me which one looks better to you. Is it A or is it B? Can you notice a huge difference? Does one look more colorful and vibrant and clearer and sharper than the other? Does one have better contrast? I'm sure the keen-eyed among you are gonna comment below and tell me you see a difference, but you let me know if one really stands out. I'll give you another second, and now for the results. If you thought the brand new iPhone was phone B, you would be wrong, because phone B is the 14 Pro and phone A is the 15 Pro. And this is just a sort of great side-by-side to show you what this phone is like. Yes, you are going to get some advantages with the new camera system I'll talk about in a moment, but really just like in a blind photo test, unless you're really pixel peeping, both phones are gonna take amazing photos. Actually, I think I was kind of wrong. Hey, Editing Robert here. Just wanted to say that actually after going back and looking at those photos, I do notice more of a difference between the two phones. At first, I thought the hardware was going to be so similar that you wouldn't notice a difference, but now I think it's actually the new Smart HDR processing that's doing a lot of the heavy lifting that is going to give you quite a difference between the photos. So they are very similar, but actually after watching this a couple of times during the editing process, I was wrong. Maybe there is a bigger difference between the 14 and the 15 series than I thought. And yeah, they're gonna look very, very similar with a couple of small differences and new features in that new 15 Pro series. One is that you're shooting 24 megapixel stills by default on the 15 Pro versus 12 on the 14 Pro. And also there's this cool mode where you can sort of shift the focus of a photo after the fact. I mean, before, if you took a portrait mode photo, you could go back and adjust how blurry the background was going to be. But now this is a bit different because the iPhone is going to capture that depth data, to my understanding, when it knows there's a subject in there that you might want to actually adjust later. And then you can go back in the Photos app after the fact and then not only sort of edit the bokeh, but also edit who is going to be more clear, who's the subject in the photo. But even if we look at like the specs here on Apple's own comparison webpage, you'll see that like in terms of camera hardware, excluding the new telephoto zoom system on the 15 Pro Max, you've got the exact same camera hardware on the back of the 15 Pro and the 14 Pro. Really, the only big differences are gonna be with the software wizardry and those new software features on the newer iPhones. On the video side, it's a similar story. Obviously, great looking videos on the 15 Pro series. That you do have two new advantages here. One is that you can shoot log video. So if you do want to have maximum control over the color space of your iPhone video, you can now adjust that after the fact if you shoot log. And also you can now record ProRes video directly to an external SSD on your 15 Pro iPhone. And of course, the big story here on the 15 Pro Max is gonna be the extra telephoto zoom range. You're gonna get 5x over 3x on the 15 Pro. The difference is there, but it seems negligible to me. I'm personally not someone who uses a bunch of telephoto zoom stuff on my phone. I'm not using the zoom all that much, so if you are, that is going to matter. And if you want the most versatile camera and you want the most optical and digital zoom range on your iPhone, then go with the 15 Pro Max. And while I may not understand all of Apple's decisions with the iPhone 15 Pro or really the entire iPhone 15 lineup in general, one thing that I am happy about, and I think we can all agree is a great thing, is that USB-C is finally here on the iPhone. Finally. But to take full advantage of this port, you're gonna need a great charger that is gonna deliver the speed, the performance, and also the personality you're looking for. This is the Ugreen Nexode RG 65-watt charger, and I can confidently say it's the most fun charger I've ever used, and it's gonna deliver all the power you're looking for to power all your tech. This can take the all-new iPhone 15 Pro to 50% in just 30 minutes, or one of those new MacBook Airs to 70% in just an hour. And you can easily charge 3 devices simultaneously because it's got 2 USB-C ports and 1 USB-A port. Inside is also the latest and greatest GaN technology, which is going to provide a faster and more eco-friendly charging solution that reduces heat, energy loss, and is paired with built-in thermal guard protection. And while this is great, I also love that this is also delivering both form and function. It's not some ugly brick, but it's like a little helpful robot that's got built-in cute emojis to help you easily see what's going on and juice up your devices by also having a smile built in too. And like I mentioned, this is the 65-watt version, but there's also the Ugreen Nexode 30-watt charger if you do want another alternative offering that's more of a lower power option. And for a limited time, you can get 20% off this charger that packs the power, personality, and the form and function you're looking for that perfectly pairs with your new iPhone or really any tech you've got. If you want to learn more, check it out for yourself today. And again, save 20% for a limited time. Hit the link right down below in the description to learn more and check it out for yourself today. Moving on from camera, one of the other cool features here with the 15 Pro is the new action button. Apple has discontinued their volume switch, their little mute slider that used to be on the iPhone since all the way back in 2007, and now on the 15 Pros, you've got what Apple calls an action button. And it works basically the same way as the Apple Watch Ultra's action button. You can program it to do different things. I think Apple's got like 9 or so things on their website that you can have it do. By default, it's going to basically just silence and unsilence your phone. But what is cool here is that Apple's got this custom UI that's very immersive and special and makes it look like you're doing something crazy here when you're just programming what this little button does on the side of your 15 Pro. And there are a couple of cool things you can do with this button. One is that you can also use it as a shutter button in the camera app. So by default, that's what it's going to do, which is cool if you've got the camera open. And also, like I mentioned, you can program it for a bunch of different things. You're also able to sort of drill down and say what specifically in the camera you want to do with the action button. That's sort of cool, so you can jump to exactly what you want. And also, with the power of Siri shortcuts, you can basically program this to do anything. Open any app, run some sort of sequence. Having the ability to do a Siri shortcut right from the button on the side of your phone is very cool and very nice to see Apple add that extra layer of customization for the power users who want it. But I will say one downside of the button right now is that it's only got one function. That is to say, you can only long press it and have it do one thing. There's no double tap, no triple tap, no short tap. Just one press is all that you can sort of do with it right now to have it do a function. That is in contrast to the double tap accessibility feature that's existed as sort of a hidden virtual button on the iPhone for the last couple of generations. And if you didn't know, you can head into accessibility and turn this on and basically have your own action button by double or triple tapping the back of your iPhone. This seems like something Apple could obviously fix with software. They could add a software update tomorrow and let you have multiple different commands for your action button with a double or triple click. So something that could come later on. But as of right now, just one command you can do, one button press, that's it, for better or for worse. All right, next, I gotta debunk some myths, rumors, and lies about the iPhone 15 Pro, because there were some last-minute leaks and rumors that seem super legit that turned out not to be the case, some that mean you got a better phone than we thought we would have, and some that mean the 15 Pro is a bit worse than what we thought, but let me explain. For example, while the 15 Pro's USB-C port is faster for data transfer speeds, we had heard that Apple was going to limit your charging speeds based off of the phone, that only the 15 Pros could do fast charging and the 15 and 15 Plus could not. That turns out to not be the case according to, I believe it's a Mac Rumors article. Though again, if you want faster data transfer speeds, you're gonna wanna go with the 15 Pro. The other big rumor that seemed very promising a couple of weeks ago was that we were gonna get significantly bigger batteries and better battery life in the 15 Pro phones. You might remember this graphic that went around a couple of weeks ago that showed some substantial upgrades were coming to the 15 Pro phones and really every 15 in the lineup versus the 14. And over the last couple of weeks, I'm sure you've heard that the 14 Pro has had some battery issues that have made it almost unusable for some people. I've had some really poor battery life on my phone. So we were all very much looking forward to some fresh, larger batteries on the 15 series, but that is actually not the case. Battery life is just barely better, if not the same, on the 15 Pro. But I will say, one of the sneaky little things that Apple didn't really talk about much that's really cool with these phones is sort of reverse wired charging. You can use your 15 series to charge other Apple accessories, even other like tech accessories that use USB-C, and basically use your iPhone as a battery bank. It's actually really cool. Apple specifically called out that you could charge your AirPods Pro with USB-C case or your Apple Watch with your iPhone, but it actually goes far beyond that. If you're using two USB-C iPhones and you plug them into each other, the one with the lower battery is going to be charged by the one with the higher battery, which is sort of cool. If you plug a Lightning iPhone into a USB-C iPhone, the Lightning iPhone by default is going to charge because the handshake doesn't really happen as effectively as it should. Basically, the USB-C iPhone, even if it has less battery, is going to charge the Lightning phone no matter what. And then a few more cool features here worth noting is that you can actually use a 15 Pro phone to record spatial video for the upcoming Vision Pro. This feature, I believe, is coming soon, and we're not exactly sure how this is going to look compared to actually recording it on the headset, but I will tell you, recording a spatial video this way as opposed to recording it this way is gonna look way less dorky and probably way more socially acceptable. Also, we're still eSIM only here in the US for all 15 models, though internationally, looks like the SIM tray is still sticking around. And also, what Apple didn't really mention that's really cool to see here as well is that the iPhone 15 Pro is way cheaper to repair if it is out of warranty. Here's a graphic here on screen where you can see how expensive it was to repair a 14 Pro out of warranty compared to a 15 Pro. Obviously, Apple said that I believe the 15 series as a whole was really built more with repairability in mind. It's gonna be easier to repair, and because it's easier for Apple, it's also cheaper for us. So if you do have Apple Care, that's gonna make the price basically the same, but if you want to sort of risk it and not have Apple Care, now if you do get an accidental drop or damage, it's gonna be significantly cheaper to fix a 15 Pro versus a 14 Pro. And I think those are all the tidbits and little hidden features and secrets that I could find. Obviously, I'm gonna spend some more time with this phone, and the more cool stuff I will find, I will let you know about. But I've got a question for you. One is that, well, did you get one of these new 15 Pro phones? And if you did, what's your favorite feature so far? Have you seen any secrets or cool Easter eggs you wanna share? And in general, what are your thoughts on the 15 Pro phones? Did Apple do enough to wow you this year? Are the photos and videos, to your eyes, significantly better than that of other iPhones? Is the action button your go-to? Is it awesome to have thinner bezels? Let me know your thoughts down below. As always, I appreciate you guys watching. Thank you so much for your support. I'm Robert Rosenfeld from the Apple Circle, and I'll see you all in the next one.